Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Horizons. I'm about to land here on this moon. It's aerial, it's in our solar system, and this part up ahead is unlike anything I've seen so far. It's all full of mountains and ridges. What I'm doing here is looking for points of interest, hoping to get involved in a bit of combat and try and find myself a good bit of loot. Now this area is quite thick with dust and fog essentially. This is I think what's known as outgassing, where gases escape from rocks and areas of the planet and it hangs in the lower areas. There's not enough of it to create an atmosphere, but there certainly is enough of it to give some interesting type of effects. So I found a point of interest area here and I'm about to deploy the SRV. Now the trouble is, it looks like the area of interest is right up on one of the mountain ridges here, and hopefully the SRV is going to be able to climb up there. Now I'm not all that good at using this. I have improved quite a bit, but it's still early days yet, and I don't really know the full capabilities of the SRV. What I have found is that it can't always climb some of the steeper slopes here. I've also discovered and worked out that you really do need to pay attention to the HUD, because sometimes you'll think you're on a flat or level ground, but you're actually on a 30-degree incline. Without actually being inside the vehicle itself, it's hard to judge whether you're on a flat or whether you're going up slope. For argument's sake here, I'm nearly on a 20-degree incline, roughly going up to 30 degrees now, so in a minute I'm probably going to start slipping and sliding, not able to keep traction on the mountain here. Although that said, maybe I can make it up. Come on, you can do it. No, boost. Okay, falling back down again. Now I noticed there that the roll doesn't seem to be working, and that's because for some reason on the 3.1 update the roll has become unbound, so it means I've landed on my arse here. So right, let me get those keys rebound and we'll have a look further up. Now you'd never think this is that lower gravity planet because I just keep getting pulled back down again. I'll show you later, but when you shoot some of the minerals or the materials on the planet, they go shooting up into the air and they take forever to descend back down again. You'd never think it, seeing how fast the SRV drops down, but there we go. I cannot get up to the top of this point of interest for the life of me, so I may just have to get as close as I can and then have a look outside with the external cam. And we can see once again there's some sort of shipwreck here. I can't work out what type of ship it is, but it's being protected by these sentries. They're protecting the wreck and the loot. And unfortunately I can't get up there, and even if I could I probably couldn't collect the loot with my SRV. But there is another way around it. I might not be able to collect the loot, but I want to see what happens if I attack this area with my ship. Now the Cobra is obviously far from the most powerful ship in the game, but its weapons are infinitely more powerful than what you get on one of the SRVs. Let's see what happens when I shoot these sentries here. Yeah, three shots and they're down. They've got absolutely no defense against the ship at all. Now throughout this video you may notice a few sound sync issues, and that's basically because I've changed my editing software and it doesn't like to play very well with the shadow play that I use to capture the footage with. So that's something I'm going to have to work on future videos. So what have we got here? Some tea. Now wouldn't it be nice if we could actually winch this up somehow? A crane of some type fitted to the cargo bay would actually be really handy. A while ago I drove right down to the bottom of a big trench, a really big canyon, and I called my ship, but my ship couldn't fly down there. It kept landing up atop of the canyon, so there was no way for me to get out other than to self-destruct. So it'd be pretty nice if your ship could actually come down, float above you, and then crane you back in again. Just look at these lovely mountains. Looking up here on the flatter areas of the planet then, still searching for some points of interest. You can see there's one there behind me. That's the one in the rock area that I just left behind. Thought it time to get away from that zone because the SRV really did struggle there. And well, the visibility up here is that much better as well. I've mentioned before how flying close over the surface of the planets like this really does give you a massive sense of speed, and this is just unbelievable in virtuality. I wish there was a way of me showing you exactly what that was like. So here's a little area that's not unlike some of the smallish settlements you sometimes see on other planets. It's being guarded by sentries, but they don't seem to attack if you just go into the area without causing any problem. I don't really want to get fined here, but I'm going to scan this data point here, because if you do that, you can get a bounty voucher for it. Now, on this occasion, it's just a single data point, but sometimes some of these areas have multiple data points, and when they do that, you need to scan each one of them in turn, and they'll actually have a timer on. So, for example, I could have scanned that first one there, and I'd get a 1.5 minute timer to find the second data point, and sometimes there's 3 or 4 or maybe more of them. So there you can see, I've got 15,000 credits of bond voucher there. But I did get fined for doing it, so I guess I'll have to pay that off. We don't want that turned into a bounty. The points of interest generation has certainly improved. There's more of them to be found now. And here is another type again. Now, this is one of the first times I've come across a ground defence turret, so I'm a little cautious here, a little curious if it's going to start attacking, so I guess I'll just have to approach it slowly. These sentries certainly don't seem to attack, although I wonder if I attack those little silos there. They're mining silos. If you shoot them, they will drop some minerals or metals that I can collect. I'll probably have to deal with the sentries and the defence turret before I can actually go and collect them though. Right, I'm going to actually attack this turret here, but I want to back up a bit so I'm slightly out of its range. I don't want to get hit too hard with it. Let's see what these sentries have got going for them to start with. I don't think scanning them actually achieves anything in this case. No, it doesn't, but there we go, let's shoot them. And now the defence turret is attacking me, and it's nearly stripped a single ring of my shield already, so I'm going to back up and try and get out of its range of fire. I'm not sure how good or how effective the SRV weapons are against it here, but I've got a bounty for assaulting it. So far I've found a lot of points of interest here, but it would seem that you can't interact with the points of interest in any way whatsoever without either getting a fine or without getting a bounty on your head. So even though in some of the occasions here, or nearly all the occasions, the loot or the cargo is actually legal salvage, you're actually allowed to sell it on the commodities market. Let's see if we can get it. Nearly. Can't see how much health it's got though, a shield. Oh, it's down to 0. There we go. Got it. As I was saying earlier then, it seems a bit strange that I can't interact with any of these areas without actually getting a fine or a bounty of some sort. Then again, perhaps it's because these are all neutral and friendly type of areas, and I'd need to locate some sort of hostile place. I haven't actually come across a pirate point of interest yet. Maybe the story's a bit different if I find one of them. And there we go, look how slowly that falls. That's what I was talking about a bit earlier. So, not overly valuable, and I can only carry 2 units of it at any rate. Probably not worth the fines I got, but this is all experimentation, all finding out what's worthy and what's going on with it all. And a bit more of the same stuff by the looks of it. So I thought it time to go to a different area. This moon is Oberon. It's one of the sister moons to Ariel. It's right next door pretty much. Turns out this is a very different area indeed. Just look how dark it is here. Just on the Terminator here, not quite on the dark side and not quite on the light side, but even here you can see how bright this starfield is. So only a single sentry here this time. Don't seem to be defending any wrecks. I don't see where all these cargo containers have come from, but the sentry's here protecting it nonetheless. What have we got? Some personal weapons. Now they're probably some of the more valuable things we can find. Coffee, and... Now the turret is jumping around a lot here. I'm using the hat on top of my joystick. But you can actually bind the mouse to the turret as well, which makes it a lot easier and a lot smoother, as you can see here. But you actually need 3 hands to hold the mouse, the joystick and the throttle all at the same time. So in that sense it's not very practical unless your SRV is stationary, like I'm here. So interesting stuff, but nothing I'm going to take. Now this is a new signature on the scanner here. Different things make different sorts of tones. You have the long pulse type sound. You have the little breaking up to hear that one there, the pulse type tone. That's my ship. Then you have the little crackling one, which is the materials. And then I've got a different one here, and I don't know what that is just yet. But it looks like I'm right near. Ah, is that a meteorite of some type? Yeah, it's a meteorite. So again, I'm going to scan these, even though I don't think it actually does anything, but just want to be safe. It's something new I hadn't scanned before, but no message up the top, and it's all exploded into a bunch of different pieces. So material, that's nickel. Now I have on occasion flown up into the air and collected it into the cargo hatch here, but you need a bit of forward momentum before you actually try and do that, so not to worry. Where did those other pieces go? Hopefully some of these have been new materials. Yep, new material discovered. I haven't actually sold all this information at Universal Cartographics yet. Hopefully I can do that. So what was that? That was some carbon. None of those areas then are going to end up making me rich, but they're all pretty interesting and fun to do nonetheless. Next time I think I'm going to try and find one of those large enemy pirate bases. But for now, that brings us to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. This is Mercury, the closest planet to our sun and one of the hottest. Clearly at this point in our future we've overcome that problem, as we have large settlements there. This is Erlich City, the largest settlement on Mercury, and it is indeed a massive place.